Okay, so now we are going to demonstrate some dynamic techniques with the cups, but this is a good close-up of some of the techniques that I use for orthopedic cupping. Linear techniques refer to straight line movements of the cups. These movements can be either parallel or perpendicular to the muscle fibers depending on treatment focus. Linear strokes can be broken or continuous. With continuous strokes, the cup is advanced in a straight line in one direction. But at some point, you'll come to the end of the line and run out of soft tissue, so that line will have to change direction. So with your picking up the cup, the path is either reversed or changed and another linear path begun. In a broken linear technique, the dynamic movement of the cup is stopped and the cupping seal broken on purpose before it ever reaches the end of the line. I do this a lot if I am using two cups, for instance, to facilitate upright posture in somebody with kyphosis. I will start one cup superiorly at maybe the erectors and one cup inferiorly and bring them both together. Once the cups reach each other, I break the seal, pick them up, and start all over again. Because I'm trying to approximate or bring those cups together to reverse those already overstretched and over-lengthened erector muscles. So I don't want to go in one direction that shortens them, only to turn around and go in the direction or use a technique that lengthens them. I'm going to continuously bring the cups together. That way we are facilitating more of a trunk extension with the cups. Parallel strokes are a dynamic technique that can start at one end of the muscle or muscle group and extend all the way out to the opposite distal end of that muscle or muscle group. Parallel techniques are great when attempting to elongate a particular muscle or muscle group. Kicking it up a notch, you can take two cups and begin in the middle . You can take two cups and begin in the middle of the muscle, dynamically advancing both cups out toward the distal end of the muscle. Break the suction, start again in the middle, and you're going to bring both cups distally out to the ends of the muscles. This facilitates even more of an elongation movement with the tissues. In contrast, if you want to facilitate a particular movement, say someone was super kyphotic and you wanted to facilitate trunk extension, you could place two cups, one at the proximal end and one at the distal end of the erectors, and use a dynamic parallel movement that simultaneously brings both cups toward each other, almost like creating puppeteer magic in postural facilitation. Perpendicular strokes are strokes that move perpendicular across the muscle fibers. These strokes are typically used when a little bit more elbow grease is needed to address an adhesion. Going against the grain is a little bit more aggressive and stretches the tissues in more than one plane. So monkey bars is a combination technique of sorts. Instead of performing decompression on one cup, you perform decompression on a series of cups that are sequentially lined up, almost like you're swinging from one monkey bar to the next. And this feels amazing to pathways of muscles and soft tissue that have become all squished down and compressed and aren't moving. This is best performed with one of the plunger cups like the big grips or the candy apple red mini grips that have the handles on them. This can also be performed with the edge cup or any mushroom-shaped cup, even the Pac-Man Ghost. But I feel like you get the best lift and pull and monkey bar action out of the grips cups. So for monkey bar techniques, you're going to lift up on one cup, and I'm pulling straight up toward the ceiling. We're going to lift up on one cup, hold that for 10 to 15 seconds, and then we are going to swing to the next cup with our opposite hand, and we are going to do the same thing. We are going to lift and pull and hold that about 15 seconds. If we had more cups lined up, we would go and we would reach and we would pull and we would work our way up the line of all of those monkey bars, lifting and holding for about 15 seconds each. Decompression is simply lifting and pulling on the cup after it's attached to get even more lift and pull and stretch in that immediate area. I like to do decompression on the plunger type cups. I feel like the handle is just perfect for lifting and holding, but decompression can also be performed with any of the other cups. I just like the hand grip more on these cups when I do the decompression. Tilting is exactly what it sounds like. Tilting one side of the cup to basically pull the tissue in that direction, in the direction that you want it to go. So during your tissue assessment, you want to make sure you see what direction the tissue does and does not like to move. Once you find a way the tissue does not like to move, you can then apply the cup and use this tilting method to pull that tissue in a way that it does not like to go. That way you improve the tissue mobility in a specific direction. You can rinse and repeat for different directions. You can lift and add some decompression and tilting. This is called the tilt in space. And we can transition right into the whirligig. So the whirligig technique is lifting the cup up and performing almost a stirring of the pot while we are decompressing the tissues and lifting up on the handle. So this is the whirligig technique, and this is going to create space in a superior plane and also 360 degrees at the same time. This is wonderful for low backs, especially people that have a sway back or have that little arch in their back, and for the shoulder region and the rhomboids that become really, really tight and stuck, and even around the scapula to help those shoulder blades move. So we're stirring the pot on that whirligig. Give that a shot. Cups can be moved in small circles, bigger circles, overlapping circles, slow circles, fast circles, anything you want. Circles cover a large area better than just leaving the cup on statically. Imagine ironing out a ton of wrinkles in your clothes, or better yet, vacuuming up a bunch of tiny pebbles or debris. Circles, especially slow circles, are very soothing to the body. Fast circles tend to... Remember, slow circles are very soothing to the body. Adding 2 cups and doing slow circles on the back is very relaxing. If you're going for a more energizing stroke, you can perform your circles with a faster pace. Try that. Have your client give you feedback on how the different circles feel. Friction strokes are semi-rapid strokes that alternate in direction. These strokes don't have to be aggressive and uncomfortable. They can be quite comfortable. They are used to work out stubborn adhesions and create localized warmth. Friction can be in any direction. You can reverse your direction, or you can even stay in the same spot and again friction out any stubborn adhesions that may be present. Friction strokes are semi-rapid strokes that alternate in direction. These strokes don't have to be aggressive and uncomfortable. They can be quite comfortable. They are used to work out stubborn adhesions and create localized warmth. Friction can be in any direction. You can reverse your direction, or you can even stay in the same spot and again friction out any stubborn adhesions that may be present. Doorknobbing is a gentle technique used to advance the cup to a different location. This is a great technique to use if a client is experiencing higher levels of pain or when the tissue doesn't support a more linear and direct advancement of the cup. Sometimes you are attempting to go in one direction and the cup doesn't want to go. You can switch over and try a doorknobbing technique. The doorknobbing technique is a lot more forgiving, and the tissues seem to really love the doorknobbing technique for advancement from point A to point B. In doorknobbing, you would take the cup, typically an edge cup or a Pac-Man ghost cup, and turn or twist the cup as you would twist a doorknob if you were going to open it. As you twist, you are going to ever so slightly advance the cup a short distance at the same time. So with each turn, you are simultaneously moving the cup and getting some good tissue movement at the same time. Sometimes when you are trying to advance the cup, the tissues pucker or gather and the cups don't move, the cups stick. Instead of forcing the cup to go and making it super uncomfortable for your client, you can inch your way along by placing a stabilizing hand posterior to the cup in the opposite direction that you are attempting to go. Stabilize the tissue by adding a light downward force on the tissue. Then advance or inch the cup forward until the tissue starts to gather again or the cup starts to stick and not really move well again. Then take your hand, take your stabilizing hand, move it to the new area, stabilize that tissue, and repeat. This way you are going to inch and inch and inch your way in the direction that you want to go without stressing and irritating the tissues. Ovaling is a technique that maintains the cup, typically an edge cup, in an oval shape while performing dynamic cupping. Some areas of the body start wide and then progress to a smaller or narrow space. So instead of breaking the suction and abandoning the area completely, the cup can be maintained in an oval shape, and the cup then dynamically used to iron out wrinkles in a narrow space. This is perfect for the neck, bottom of the foot, forearm, wrist, or calf areas. To do this, first apply the cup. Pinch grip or donut is fine. I actually prefer the pinch grip method. That way my fingers and hand are already in the right position and I don't have to adjust. After the cup is applied, pinch the sides without breaking the suction to put the cup in an oval shape. Maintaining that oval shape, then move the cup wherever appropriate to iron out wrinkles or address tissue issues.